Hello, this is Biafra Discourse. I am Asuzu Chinedu Peters. Nigeria is a crime against humanity, the political war against the Biafran people since 1970 till date. Nigeria is structured in such a way that the North would continue to be ponderous over other parts of Nigeria. It is easier for two big elephants to pass through the eye of a needle than for a Biafran, a person, anyone from the southeastern part of Nigeria to become the Nigerian president or occupy sensitive position in Nigeria without serious animosity and hatred. First, Ahmadu Bello, the Sardauna of Sokoto, during an interview with the BBC, openly and boldly reaffirmed his hatred for those he considered the Igbos, referring to the people of the old eastern region.
The Igbos are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area. If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headman of that camp.
At that time, at the First Republic, if you are from the north, you are considered Hausa. If you are from the west, you are considered a Yoruba person. And if you are from the eastern region, you are considered Igbo. So when Ahmadu Bello referred to Igbos, he was simply referring to the Igbo people, the Ijo, Anang, Efik, and all that were found within the old eastern region at that time. You might not have heard nor pondered through the meaning of what Ahmadu Bello stated during his independence speech on October 12, 1960, as reported by Parrot newspaper.
The words of Sir Ahmadu Bello, the Sardauna of Sokoto and the Premier of the Northern region. Let me remind you, he said, and I quote, "The new nation called Nigeria should be the estate of our great-grandfather Usman Dan Fodio. We must ruthlessly prevent a change of power. We shall use the minority of the North as willing tools and the South as conquered territory, and never allow them to rule over us, nor have control of their future." These were the words of Ahmadu Bello during his independence speech, as reported in Parrot newspaper, October 12, 1960.
Gowan from Plateau State, the Middle Belt, where they considered the minority of the North, was used as a willing tool by leading the genocide war against the Biafran people. The North have continued to ruthlessly prevent any change of power that will bring a southeastern Nigeria to a position of authority, just like we have experienced during the Goodluck Jonathan administration. Since after the end of that genocide war in 1970, the southeastern part of Nigeria, the Biafran land, have been taken and treated like a conquered territory by the northern oligarchy. That is the reason the likes of Junaid Mohammed had continued to speak out that the oil and the resources in the southeastern part of Nigeria, including the Niger Delta area, the Biafran land, are all owned and belongs to the North.
The oil in Delta belongs to Jigawa. As long as we are in Nigeria, we will make sure that we have uninterrupted supply of oil, so that there will be uninterrupted supply of money to Jigawa State. That oil, we shall do everything within our means, everything with our blood, to defend our oil in Bayelsa. We will do everything possible to defend that oil in Bayelsa. It belongs to Jigawa State as well. Ijo oil, Bayelsa oil belongs to Jigawa people. And we shall do everything possible to defend our oil in Bayelsa, because God put our oil in Bayelsa, just like God.
So what they claim is the offshore oil is actually the oil of the North. If anybody should own it, it's the North. So we should stop using these terms that have no sense at all. There are no oil producing states.
In case you have forgotten, let me remind you, it was Ahmadu Bello that initiated and introduced the northernization policy, which he categorically stated to mean a northerner first.
In the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities, because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when I came here, there weren't 10 northerners in our civil service here. Then I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by northerners.
Is this policy of filling all key posts in the north solely with northerners and not with other Nigerians a temporary or a permanent one?
In actual fact, what it is a northerner first. If you can't get a northerner, then we take an expatriate like yourself on contract.
This northernization policy now has a new baptismal name called federal character. Federal character simply means a northerner first. A northerner first in job recruitment into civil service and public service. A northerner first in education and admission into tertiary institution. A northerner first in federal government appointment. A northerner first in everything that has to do with Nigeria. That is what the federal character represents. And the North have continued to exhibit in concrete terms that they are determined to force federal character down the throat of everyone that considers himself in Nigeria.
I beg of us to please respect this federal character.
Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Federal Character, Idris Ahmed, soliciting more respect to federal character principle.
It is even worse and dehumanizing, as the Fulani cow is even considered first before any human life from the southeastern part of Nigeria, the Biafra land. We are all witness to this current administration led by President Muhammad Buhari, who have in several occasions expressed his commitment to ensure that the northern agenda is carried out to its letter. His hatred for the people of the southeastern part of Nigeria was not hidden from the very first day he was declared winner of the 2015 presidential election. He made this boldly clear during an interview in America.
And inclusive development. Thank you.
Inclusive government. Inclusive government. You know, in how you include, women, youth.
I see. Yes. I hope you have a copy of the election results. Naturally, constituencies, for example, that year gave me 97%. Cannot, in all honesty, be treated on some issues with constituencies that gave me 5%. I think this is a political reality.
It is federal character that legalizes inequality and injustice in Nigeria. Take a look at the National Assembly. Take a look at the political appointment by the federal government. Take a look at the federal institutions. You will understand that the North have been made to be the masters over other Nigerians in Nigeria. You will agree with me if you take a look at Nigeria today that the people of the southeastern part of Nigeria, including the Niger Delta region, are treated and regarded as outcasts, slaves, and defeated people that have no right to their lands and resources. Some people still ask how the northern states have dominated politically in Nigeria. It is simply through the northernization policy and the federal character that ensures that the North has more local government, more states, and more representatives at the National Assembly.
In line with the principle of equity of federal character that I have stated, officers of the House must represent the principle of equity and federal character. And to that end, we've also ceded the position of the House leader to the Fermi groups. And finally, in an event that they do not accept this position, then we should all honorably go and do what is right by holding elections to elect the various individuals that will represent, that will occupy the office of the principal officers.
This is just one among too many reasons why indigenous people of Biafra, the Biafran people from the southeastern part of Nigeria, including the Niger Delta region, are simply asking to separate themselves from Nigerian state. The international community, as a matter of responsibility and commitment to her ideals, should look into this British colonial contraption called Nigeria. It had never worked, it is not working, and can never work. It is high time for all the ethnic nationalities trapped within the Nigerian colonial contraption should be allowed to decide for themselves whether or not to remain in Nigeria. To get more video updates, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, share, and don't forget to drop your comment. Follow us on all our social media platforms. Join us on Facebook at Biafra Voice International (BVI Channel 1). Till I come your way next time, I still remain your humble servant, Asuzu Chinedu Peters, serving indigenous people of Biafra with humility and respect.
I got you.